So we were one of the lucky ones to get a review copy of Layers of Fear 2, and it has so far not let us down whatsoever. Layers of Fear 2, if you don't know, is a sequel to the original Layers of Fear, which is a psychological horror game, takes place in the 1930s for Layers of Fear 2, where you are a wannabe actor, an inspiring actor, working on a role and being kind of tormented by your director, who's narrated by Tony Todd. What's interesting about Layers of Fear 2 is it takes place on an ocean liner. So, actor, ocean liner, 1930s, Tony Todd narrating. It's a good combo for horror, and it is proven so tremendously.
For sure. It's, first of all, right off the bat, like Tony Todd.
Yeah, it's amazing.
His voice is just fantastic, and a presence.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing.
Tony has a very, very special voice. That it's one of those that once you hear it, you know it's him.
Yeah.
He's like Liam Neeson, kind of. And Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
They just like have that voice, and you know it's them. And Tony definitely is a game changer for Layers, and that's one of the things that instantly jumps Layers of Fear 2 above Layers of Fear 1. And one of the things I found was super interesting is Layers of Fear 1, you can't really fail. Like, it's kind of hard to screw up in Layers of Fear 1. There's really no element of dying or a checkpoint system because you're kind of always doing things right. It's just basically a puzzle-solving game with some scares here and there.
Yeah.
Not the case for Layers of Fear 2. There are puzzles. Tricky ones, too. There are some legitimate tricky puzzles in the game. Stuff that'll make you sit there and think for a while. But at the same time, there is a threat. A legitimate threat that will chase you down. And if it catches you, that's it. You go back and checkpoint, and you may have to do that over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's definitely not absolutely hard, but you gotta get it just right. And it might take you a few times to get it right.
And it's suspenseful. The thing is, like, you can't look back or you'll be going too slow, but you hear the thing behind you, so you're constantly just trying to book it, try to find the door to go to the next place, and, like, that suspense, that is enough to keep going. And it's not so often that it's redundant, so you're not getting sick of being chased the whole time,
right?
But it's there enough just to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Right, and kind of going off that, the sounds that not just, this thread is making, but, the shaking, the vision blurring and zooming in, and the sounds as well, all play into a part and just make a complete horror experience.
Yeah, and if you, one of the things I definitely like more about Layers of Fear 2 over the first one is stepping away from art, but rather going to film.
Yeah.
And of course, horror film being a huge push for the game. I mean, there are Easter eggs everywhere. And I think in the future, when the game, a couple weeks after the game is released, we will try to dive in and show as many Easter eggs as we have found, especially when we stream the game. We're going to use our audience to help find those Easter eggs. But I will tell you, like, for one, for example, I won't tell you what it is, but there was a beautiful one for The Shining. I freaking love it. It was, like, you see it, you're like, oh, it's beautiful.
The thing is with, like, there's a bunch of Easter eggs and things to look at, and you can definitely play through this game and just go the objective and get everything done. But real horror fans and early film fans especially are going to appreciate these references when you take your time a little bit. There are certain parts where obviously you can't take your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we I know both of us were playing and we could have just ran through it, but we really looked at every little corner, up, down, left, right, everywhere.
Yeah,
just
and make sure you're listening to, like, when those tapes play and things, like when you go back to, like, the main room and whatnot. Again, we're not going to say any spoilers. We're not about that, but you get back to this main room and you're able to play tapes and whatnot, and you listen, and there is a clear reference in almost every single one of them. Like, there's one that is directly pulled from Hitchcock, and I'm like, beautiful. Yeah. It's so cool. So you have suspense. It's a beautiful psychological horror game. It's fun to play through. There's a cool story of Tony Todd narrating it, and then you have all of the horror Easter eggs on top of that. It is enough to make any fan, horror fan or not, of horror films or not, satisfied.
Yeah. Blooper Team is just knocking it out of the park again.
Yeah, I'm playing through we played through Layers of Fear yesterday, and I mean, it holds up. It's a really, really fun game to play, and I think one of the most unique things about Layers of Fear is the constant, you turn around and something changes every time you turn around. It's wild, and that'll mess with your head after a while.
Right? Yeah, everything changes as you turn. You do a 180, and it's completely different from what you just looked at.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why video games can be scarier than movies, because you have the power of when you turn. In movies, you can just kind of lead for it, but when you have the control of it, and then you suddenly do a 180 and everything is different, and there's something in your face right there, I mean, that's scary, and you have the power to do that.
Yeah.
You're not relying on someone to move a camera for you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Layers of Fear 2, all around, an absolutely fun game. It's definitely better than the first Layers.
Yeah.
So if you like the first Layers, I promise you will like Layers of Fear 2. And the thing also, it takes roughly 6 to 10 hours to play through. And there are multiple endings.
Yes.
So you have to go back and play it again if you want, just like the first Layers. And the first Layers at most 3 hours-ish.
Yeah.
This one, 6 to 10. I mean, that's a lot more gameplay.
Right, and it takes a while before you get to, a clear choice like this or that, do this or that.
Yeah.
But, well, I guess there is one towards the beginning, but...
They're spread out.
Yeah, they're spread out really nicely, and it almost makes you forget, oh, yeah, right, this is a butterfly effect type of game.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole time. Then you have Tony Todd in your ear saying, like, these things and trying to push you to do certain things, but you can fight against it, and... Yeah, it is a butterfly experience, and how the ending you receive is based on those choices you're making.
Yeah. Another thing that's just beautiful is there's legitimate suspense that some are brought on with the score, which again is amazing.
Yeah, it's an awesome
perfect score. But then there's also some scares that just happen with no build-up, no audio cue. It's just visual, and they're right in front of you, and it scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's just random flashes, and you have no idea they're coming. Like, seriously, like out of nowhere, these things happen. But you don't get some fake jump scare.
Right.
Like, it's just there.
Right. A lot of the time, in these games, you get the build-up, and then you get a relief for a while, and then it starts to build up. Right as you're coming down and you're starting to relieve yourself, you're reminded that you're never safe.
Yeah, there's shit always happening in Layers of Fear 2. It's a really fun ride. They take advantage of the boat. They really pay homage to classic horror films. And honestly, I can't say a bad thing about it. Seriously.
Right.
It's a blast.
Yeah, like seriously, could not think of off the top of my head anything bad about it. It was fully immersive horror experience, and yeah, it sets the standard for horror gaming.
Yeah, and I was the same way with the first Layers. I thought it was amazing, and the fact that they were to take that, step it up, make it a longer and more driven narrative. I mean, they get it. They killed it. They knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and one thing I can say pre-release is marketing-wise, Gun Media killed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was smart, man. They stole the show at PAX, and
Bloober made a great game, and Gun promoted it the way it deserves to be
promoted. Yeah,
and perfect combo right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's an A game for me for sure. It's a game if you like horror suspense like that, especially psychological horror, you should pick it up. It will be available on Xbox, PS4, and PC on the 28th. Okay, on Tuesday the 28th. So go check it out. We'll also be streaming it. So I mean, if you want to get a closer look at it before you buy, feel free to stop by our stream. But I'm telling you, you're gonna dig it, especially if you are a horror film fan too.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I know if you pre-order on Steam, you save $5.
Hey, not bad.
Not
and
sure
you
about
can
console.
You can get a hell of a discount on the first Layers if you haven't played through that too.
Yes, not sure about console if there's a discounted pre-order, but on Steam there is. So
again, the 28th.
Yep.
Feel free to go check it out, and again, we'll be streaming it. It'll be a good time. But Layers, I dig it. Let us know if you're gonna pick it up, because I want to know your thoughts. Well, have you played through the first Layers too? Because if you like the first Layers, again, you'll like Layers of Fear too.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. But that is going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.